Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm out in my local commission Woodland today, just for a day camp. We're going to do a few bushcraft skills, some knife skills, and some fire lighting as well. So come along with us, and you might learn something, you might not. If there's any comments on the things I do, put it in the comments section. You know, I'm always one for learning and helping other people as well along the way. So come along with us, and I'll come back to you once we get into camp. Right guys, so what we're going to do is we'll get set up, we'll put a tarp up. I'll go through setting that up bit by bit, so anybody that hasn't done one gets a proper idea of how to set a tarp up. So we'll come back to you as we start doing it. Right, so what we're going to need for this, guys, is a tarp. Doesn't matter what size. I mean, I use the DD Superlight tarp, which is a 3 metre by 2.9 metre. The standard DD tarps are 3 metre by 3 metre, and then you can get them in 3.5 by 3.5, 4 by 4, and I think they even do a 5 by 5, which is absolutely massive, which would be great for a group type shelter. Then you're going to need cordage for ridge lines and a couple of toggles. Basically just some sticks about the thickness of your thumb will be ideal, a few inches long, and they're to do the quick release mechanism. So what I'll do is I'll go over to the first tree and show you how to attach the ridge line to the first tree. Right guys, depending on how high you want your tarp is obviously depending on how high you put your ridge line. Now, if you do it a stealthy one, you only want it knee to waist height, no more than waist height. But if you're doing it as a normal shelter, you really want a better stand up in it. So I'd set the ridge line at your shoulder to head height, and that'll be the best, give you the best outcome with your shelter. So what I'm going to do is take your ridge line. So bring your looper on the tree, and then take a bite of rope and put it through your loop, and then put your stick in, then pull it tight up against the tree, like so. I'll show you a close up, like that. And then what you need to do is run your line out to your next tree. So I'll show you that. So we're going to go to that little tree in the distance with our ridge line. And then what we do is we do a trucker's hitch, which is a loop followed by a bite of loop through that loop, performing a slip knot loop. You come round the tree, pulling your tension on your loop, and then loop round twice through the actual knot, and then pull it tight. And what that does, that'll give you a tight knot. And then all I do is I just loop it off around the tree. That's what you've got there. Okay, and this is your ridge line. nice and tight. Alright, so what you need to do now is grab your tarp out of your bag, whatever it's stuff sack. Now my tarp I've got pre-tied, so as you can see there's a corner and it's pre-tied with guy lines on all four corners, and then I've got one on the very centre piece, which is here. And what that's for is when you put your shelter in a pyramid formation, diamond plough point formation, or a lean-to formation, you can pull the back out, which will give you more room. Yeah. So then we start and chuck it over. Get your tarp, so it's pretty much in the centre. There's your ridge line, covering where you want to cover. Obviously mine's covering my my raised bed. Right, so what we're going to do here is you need to get the loop and the toggle and put them through like so. Right, as you can see, the tarp's set up there over my bed. Nice working area. Sheltered area as well. I mean, I've just put it relatively low for today because I'm just doing my skills. I don't need to really stand up, and we're not staying overnight. So anyway, I'll go through the main points. So as you can see, this is the ridge line that holds the tent tarp up. The tarp obviously sits on top of the ridge line. You can put it through these gear loops and have it hanging. Some people do that, some people do it the other way. I prefer to do it the way I'm doing it, because then you've got a ridge line underneath to hang anything on. As you can see there, you've got the ridge line. So prusik knot tensioners on your main ridge line, which basically keep the tarp taut and in position. You come back to your tie-off points, which this one is a trucker's hitch, and we'll do a bit of a video in the future on knots as well. So trucker's hitch that end, then the opposite end the opposite end you've got your quick release toggle. So if you wanted to get this down in a hurry, you'd literally pull that toggle through and the whole thing will just come apart. So that's that. Obviously pegging it out is self-explanatory, and then the other ends we've just done the same. We've tied off to a tree with a trucker's hitch, and that keeps your tension on. You can either tension it or slacken it off throughout the duration of the camp. Right, so that's it. That's the tarp set up. Right guys, what I'm going to do is just do my basic fire lay, get a fire on, and then we'll get a brew on as well. But I'll just go through my principles of lighting a fire. Right guys, when I come to do my my fire, I'll lay sticks or logs in the bottom of the fire pit, and then what I do is put my tinder on top, and then I build it up, obviously sticks, twigs, and then logs on top of that. So generally what we use, I use a ferrocerium rod. Mine's just on a lanyard, as you can see, and on the end I just wrap that lanyard on with Gorilla Tape, and Gorilla Tape makes a great emergency tinder, so if everything gets wet this will still take a spark and light. So I wrap a good couple of foot around there. Just it acts as a handle, and also it's there as a tinder in an emergency. So back of any knife that's got a 90-degree spine, so your bushcraft knife. I don't like using mine because it marks your knife, but back of a silky saw, I just use the back of my open all. Carbon steel works better, but it does work with stainless steel as well. So what we do is we just take the rod, and then just strike it. There we go. And like I say, that's starting to go now. Like that. Once you've done that, get your twigs and place your twigs on the top. And your bigger twigs, slightly bigger twigs, just crossed over. As the flames come through the fire, then just keep adding more on, but don't put too much on, otherwise you'll smother it. And obviously this is a little bit damp at the minute, but it'll go. Well, it's starting to go now nicely. Fire's going nicely now. Putting a bit of heat out. Have me coffee. Cold day today. It's only about 4 degrees. But I'm away next weekend up in the Simonside Hills, so that'll be a nice video for you. We're going to be wild camping on the in and around the summit of Simonside. So I'll be with the walk out and what have you, video that and bring that to you, and the camp. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to do winter camp wise. It's sort of dark really early, so yeah, do a little bit around camp, what have you. But yeah, that should be an interesting one. Looking forward to getting out and doing a bit of hiking with and camping in the tent. And then I think planned after that I've got I might do a night here at my permission woods in the Polish Lavoo. So, but like I say, in the comments, drop us a comment if there's anything you want us to particularly cover when I'm out and about. Then do that, and I'll willingly bring that to you. And as I say, I'm just still learning with the channel, you know. I hope you guys can give us some constructive criticism if there's anything you want to bring to us, or any comments to make things better, different approach, anything like that would be gratefully welcomed. And like I say, we'll get better with practice. Right guys, I'm going to go through my my fire kit, and the basically what I carry in my fire pouch. It might be different to a lot of other people, but it's just what I carry and find that works for me. So I'll bring you down and show you exactly what's in. Right, so what we've got here, we've got the Pelican Tex pouch, which is a Mols compatible pouch. It goes on the side of my rucksack, or in my rucksack depending on which one I'm using. But everything that you see laid out here is what goes in there. So obviously there's the pouch, there's my tinder pouch, which basically just has birch bark, straw, anything that's a good tinder, you know. Then we have a lighter, just a bog standard lighter. Next to that, a piece of fat wood. Then moving on, we've got my flint and steel kit. So there's a bit of flint, a few matches in there that have escaped. My steel, and the tin doubles up as a char tin for making char cloth. In these round pouches, trying to do this one-handed. One of them's got char cloth in, one of them's got Maya powder in, which basically is just, I have a shaver, like a grater at home, a very fine grater, and I grate the fat wood into shavings. Just keep it in there, it's just if you need something quick, but generally I'll just shave a bit off the fat wood. A set of fire bellows. So when your fire is not necessarily going well and you need to get a bit more oxygen into it, use the bellows to blow in, and it acts like a bit like a blast furnace, you know, at a blacksmith's. They blow oxygen in, and that gets the fire hotter and gets your flames going. So they're quite handy for a fire that's certainly in damp conditions to get your fire roaring. Next to that is my ferrocerium rod, which we mentioned earlier on in the fire lighting. As you can see, it's quite a big chunky ferro rod. Now they retail about 12 quid these. They come with a hole drilled in the top, and all I've done is put a lanyard on, and the 1-inch tape at the top, and that's the Gorilla tape. So that's highly flammable when you light it, so it acts as tinder. Then I carry me Lixada little windshield and a Descatties stove, and they're just an alcohol stove. So if I need to get something going quickly, I just want to brew but I don't necessarily want to have a fire, I've always got this system with me as well in there. So that's me tinder pouch, my fire pouch, and as I said, there's room for other things in there as well, but that's my go-to fire starting kit. Right, that's it guys. I've gone through basic lighting a fire and what's in my fire pouch. Now what I'll do is I'll put links to the to my equipment, my ferro rod, my pouch and what have you, various bits that are in there. I'll put links in the description below, so check those out. There's a couple of Amazon links that are affiliate links, but that doesn't cost you any extra money if you decide to get like the ferro rod or any item that's mentioned in the description link. But there's a little bit kicks back to the channel from Amazon. So obviously, if there's anything you like equipment wise and you see it in the description, then just click the link. It'll take you through. There's no extra cost, like I said. but it does kick back and help the channel a little bit as well. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye bye now.